This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and joining us today from the Wanderpreneurs, love that name, the Wanderpreneurs, it's Lauren. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
It's wonderful to have you. We've I hope we have conquered our connectivity crisis, but I think we're so far so good. Where are you calling from today? Where are you?
We are in a small little town, Lotus, California. It's about, I think, maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours east of Sacramento, somewhere in that area.
Gotcha. Lotus, California. Well, that sounds like an awfully peaceful place.
It is. It's very, very peaceful.
Just the name Lotus seems like, well, lotus flower, it just seems like, wow, tranquil and serene. And that's great. And I wish I was at the beach which is depicted on my background here. Miami's looking nice in that picture, but I'm a little bit up the road from that and west. So I'm not really super close to the beach, but it's a sunny day here in South Florida. Anyway, now that we've talked about the weather, let's find out about everything you guys do. Now, I'm looking here on your Instagram page, 38,000 followers on Instagram and growing. You're a full-time, you've been doing full-time RVing now since 2018, which is 4 years, if my math is right. And how is that transition going from brick and mortar or sticks and bricks or whatever you call it to being on the road all the time?
It's been amazing. Originally, we were just going to take a 1-year trip. We had no RV experience. We just thought it would be fun to rent our house out. And we were living in the Atlanta suburbs. We said, why not just rent our house out for a year? My husband had a remote job. He builds websites. He had his own company. We said, we can work from the road. We'll travel, just see as much of the US as we can in a year. And then we'll come back to our house. Well, little did we know that we were going to completely fall in love with the lifestyle. We realized 1 year was not going to be enough. We asked our renter if she wanted to stay 2 years. Even after 2 years, we were not done. And we didn't see ourselves going back to suburban life. And so we sold our house and we have been just fully remote, we're digital nomads and we're absolutely loving it.
Wow, that's amazing. And you're able to work and do all do it all from your unit. What do you ride around in? What is home?
So we tow a 2016 Coachman Chaparral. It's a fifth wheel. So we have 2 children and they have their own bedroom with a door. They have bunk beds. We have our own bedroom. We have a large living room, a full kitchen. It's 42 feet long. It's really more than we need, but it's definitely home and we love it.
That's terrific. That's terrific. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take a quick break because on the other side, we want to hear where you've been, where you're going, some highlights maybe. And also, you guys actually do quite a bit of RV tips, discounts, all kinds of stuff. Let folks know, how they can take advantage to life on the road and some of the advantages that are out there. So we'll hear about that too. My guest is Lauren from the Wanderpreneurs, and you can follow them on Instagram, where they have over 38,000 followers. Amazing. We'll be back with Lauren in just a moment. My name is Tom Alexander. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Stay tuned.
Here are 5 words every RV enthusiast should know. Advocacy, community, education, resources, rewards. That's what the RV Advisor was built on, along with protecting your rights. Visit thervadvisor.com.
We are back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guest is Lauren from the Wanderpreneurs. And Lauren and her husband, Aaron, and their 2 children are on the road quite a bit. Well, all the time, actually. Been doing it for 4 years now. And a lot of places to see, a lot of you've done a lot, and you're going to be doing a lot more. So maybe share with us a highlight that you've enjoyed over the past few months.
So one of the most incredible things that we've done is we actually just spent all winter in Baja in Mexico. So we traveled all up and down the Baja Peninsula, hitting up the most beautiful beaches, meeting the locals. I mean, it was an incredible trip. We were there for 3.5 months. We traveled with some friends, and we also met up with friends that were also down there. And it would definitely be the highlight of our lifestyle so far of the past almost 4 years. Traveling Baja was incredible. It was just such a different experience. And we actually document everything. We also have a travel blog, and we documented everything. We wrote articles on crossing the border, how to drive in Mexico. There's just a lot of information that you do need to know if you are planning on doing that. So I recommend that everyone check out our blog too, if you have any interest in RVing in Mexico.
Well, give us the URL for the blog.
It's www.thewanderpreneurs.com.
Wonderful. And so the kids really, I'm sure the kids really drunk it in. They really, really loved it, right? I mean, how old are the kids?
So our son is 11 and our daughter is 9.
Wow. So they're at an age, that's awesome, because they're at an age where they're young enough to have that wide-eyed enthusiasm, but old enough to kind of, be a little bit independent, kind of, and take it all in, right? That's a great age for both of them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. I remember when my son was around that age, and he just, the explorer, just had to get into everything and see it all, and it's great. Lauren, what about a place that you're going to go, maybe someplace down the line here in the next few months that's on the docket?
Well, one area of the U.S. that we still haven't explored is the Northeast. We've heard amazing things about Maine, and one summer we want to spend the summer in Maine. So that is still on our bucket list. We were going to do that in 2020, but then COVID kind of shut down the big cities up there. So we had to put it off, but that's still something we want to do. And also outside of the U.S., well, actually not outside of another trip on our bucket list is we want to RV through Canada into Alaska. So Alaska and Canada are both on our bucket list too. So we're going to make that trip one summer also. So we have some big plans still. We still haven't been everywhere.
Well, it sure sounds, yeah, there's a lot to see. And just the lower 48 itself is massive and things to see. And of course, you've got Alaska as another place you can drive, and you got to go through Canada to get there. And a wonderful trip, a long trip, but I'm sure one that you're going to enjoy. The only place you can't drive is Hawaii.
I know.
that one, I think you gotta fly to and rent an RV or something, right?
Exactly.
Probably the best bet. But that's terrific. It sure sounds, and I bet the kids are just jazzed about that, huh?
Definitely. I mean, we homeschool, but a lot of our learning is based off the places we visit. They learn about the animals, the history, the people, the culture. It's just a really, it brings learning to life, being able to road school on the road.
Yeah. Well, you know what, we've had this conversation with a few families in the past on previous shows. And, look, history books are great. Textbooks are great, or I guess whatever you can get on your iPad or whatever you're learning on. But when you're actually there to see it in person and interact with it live, nothing replaces that. That is the greatest teacher of all.
Agree.
Yeah, fantastic. So I know that you offer a lot of, since you guys are real veterans of the road now, I'd say that we could put you in that category. What would you say would be a good tip for maybe somebody just starting out? They say, you know what, we want to give this a go, just like Lauren and Aaron and their family. What would you suggest would be something that might be helpful?
I Yeah, I definitely always tell people to be flexible. You're planning with your route, with everything, because the highs are very high in full-time RV travel, but the lows are low. Things break on RVs and you can't fall apart if your plans change. So I have learned, I was a big planner and I was very structured before we went into this lifestyle. And this has helped me relax a lot, because when things go wrong, if, maybe the plans change, but it's really not that big of a deal. Perspective is everything. So if you view it as just part of the adventure and you roll with the punches, you're going to have a much more enjoyable experience. So I really feel like flexibility is key.
There you go. Well, that is a good piece of advice, sage advice there from Lauren and the Wanderpreneur crew. You can find them on Instagram, where they have 38,000 followers. Hey, let's make that number grow even more. The Wanderpreneurs right there on Instagram. Lauren, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you, and we'll check in with you again after another whirlwind tour.
Sounds good.
All right, terrific. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. We'll be back to wrap things up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
The rights of the RV enthusiast are important. That's why the RV Advisor has built a nationwide network of RV owners, empowering you with advice you can trust. Visit thervadvisor.com.
Welcome back to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and joining me from the RV Advisor newsroom, it's Jody Needle. Hey, Jody, how are you?
I'm great, Tom. How are you today?
Doing great. I know you're always working on some fun stories and interesting stories. And well, to share, I know you have something on a catalytic converter that's a little surprising.
Yeah, there's actually been an increase in the theft of them. And so we've got a couple of industry leaders that are partnering together to try to combat that.
Trying to combat it. Wonderful. That's a good thing. And also, I know that an old familiar face that if you watch television in the 80s, which we did, and liked sitcoms, a former Cheers star is hitting the road literally, isn't he?
Yeah, if you remember the actor that played Cliff, John Ratzenberger, I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, John Ratzenberger.
Yeah, he's taken to the road, and he's taken his show on the road, literally. And he's got some people that are going to be following him. Hopefully you and me will be one of them, and going to be basically having his journey documented and going to have some followers.
Well, we've actually put out a feeler to see if we can actually get him to hop on the pod for a minute or two and say hello.
That would be cool.
It would be very cool. We're waiting to see if he'll join us. But that's great. And that'll be in the next newsletter. That drops on Friday, which is the 27th. And we will, well, that's actually, as we send this out, that's today, isn't it? Hey, lo and behold, it's today. All right, folks, there you go. Thanks, Jody. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
Great. Thank you.
All right, there she is, Jody Needle from the RV Advisor newsroom. We'll see you next time right here on the RV Advisor Podcast. So long, everybody.
Did you enjoy this video? Be sure to like, comment, and share, and hit the bell icon. Remember, ding, ding, so that you're notified when new videos are uploaded. As always, don't forget to subscribe.